Hey everyone, welcome back to the REI Deal Finders Podcast. Today's episode is a little different, but incredibly valuable. I was recently invited as a guest on the REI Marketing Weekly with my good friend Josh Culler. He gave me full permission to share that conversation with you here because we unpacked a ton of gold around marketing to motivated sellers, especially when it comes to referrals and TV ads. Josh and I dive into what's really working right now in our business, the fundamentals that most investors are overlooking, and how we've built systems around consistent, cost-free referral leads. It's packed with practical strategies that you can apply immediately, especially if you're looking to generate more deals without constantly chasing the newest marketing fad. Let's get into it.
You're listening to the REI Deal Finders Podcast, where you'll learn actionable steps to help you find your first or next real estate deal. We'll deep dive into current strategies and show you how to become a deal finder in your market today.
Marketing wise, I know you're not just a direct wholesaler. You do a lot of fix and flip, a lot of, might be a little bit of a different business model than the typical person that's listening here, but there's a lot that can be taken away because you guys do your own marketing as well. So one of the things I know we're going to discuss is referrals. Now, here's my take on referrals. Obviously, like the whole thing with referrals is people kind of like picture, at least motivated seller lead marketing as referrals is like, very transactional business. It's not like somebody's gonna, sell you a house and then they're gonna sell you a house in a week, and in another month down the road they're gonna sell you another house. Like that's not typically how it happens. But in terms of referrals, I'm kind of excited to hear what you have to talk about it. So like, what are some things that you guys are doing as a basis of marketing with referrals? And let's start getting into some tactics for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you asked me what are our main marketing channels. How are we getting our leads? How are we getting our houses that we buy? And we basically have 4, 3 that we pay for and 1 that we really don't. And so we do postcards, TV ads, our website, and then referrals. And they're all about, 25% of the business. So they go up and down, but at any point they're about 25% of the business. But the beautiful thing about referrals is that there is zero marketing costs attributed to referrals, other than we might give someone a gift card, right, for just saying nice things about us. And so that's why referrals are so amazing for our business. But that's what makes it weird to me that nobody pays attention to getting referrals in their business.
Yeah.
If you think back to just sales in general and real estate in general, real estate agents back in the day, all they worked on were referrals. And people didn't buy a house but once every 7, 8, 9 years, right? Mm-hmm. But their business was all referral based. Well, how did that happen? It's because they told a friend. They didn't come back. It wasn't repeat business so much as it was referral business.
Gotcha.
Now, we have repeat business because real estate, there might be an investor that sells us a few. But typically, we're buying at discounts, distressed properties or distressed owners. We don't typically get repeat. We get referrals because people are sharing our name.
Yeah, of course. And that's probably where the deviation happens, is people think like motivated sellers. But the referrals can come from wholesalers. It can come from motivated sellers just because they told a friend or somebody else. Is there a typical fashion that you guys kind of push your sellers into that says, hey, make sure you go tell a friend? And then you're saying it's making up almost, a quarter of your marketing efforts. Like, what's the process look like to actually get a referral and stay on top of it?
Absolutely. So it is a process. When we started seeing referrals happening without us really knowing that, like we weren't putting any focus or effort to it, then we said, wait a second, this is showing up in our P&L. This is showing up in our lead source. How do we double down and do it on purpose? So that's what we did, is we started making a process. So our team now, we've always been, so my background was hospitality. And when I came into buying homes and houses, we sought to bring service mindset to the transaction, to the people that were selling to us. So it's always been, how can we help you deal with this? Whatever the issue is, whatever, even if it's not a big deal, like how do we serve you to get to the closing table where you're happy to sell to us?
Yeah.
And so that's always been our motto. So you have to start there with servicing and giving good service and client experience to your sellers, or they're not going to refer you to anyone else. So it starts there, and it starts there on purpose. So our team is always asking, if we said we're going to do something, did we do it? And are we making sure we're not making promises we can't keep?
Yeah.
It starts there with that actual process. And then throughout, we're doing extra communication or extra follow-up, hand-holding more than maybe you necessarily need, so that at the end, at the transaction, and it's not even the end, but at the transaction where we buy it, we're able to say, hey, seller, there might be other people that are in this similar situation. We would love if you would help them out by giving us a testimonial, just share your experience.
Yeah.
And so using those words, like phrasing it, not like, will you help me out? Can you give me a 10 on Google review?
I like
it's because they were in a situation. Like, if we help them out, say, hey, there are other sellers out there. They might be a little hesitant to call us because they're not sure, scams or whatever. But would you mind helping them out by giving us a quick testimonial? And so those Google reviews are huge. That sets the precedent for the seller, our client, to then share their experience with other people. Mm-hmm. So that we can actually get where they tell a friend and a friend and a friend. And so we have actual old clients, old sellers that have passed our name and info on, said, hey, you helped Miss Susie. I just don't want to deal with this. She said you were amazing. You're the only person I'm going to call. Will you come out, take a look, and do this deal? We just closed on one 2 weeks ago that the client, the seller, had an agent, but they wanted to use us. They had the agent call us. We still had to pay the agent's commission, right? But the agent had to call us to come do the deal. She didn't want them to list it on the market. She wanted the agent to come to us, and we got the deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. I always say that some of the, it's overlooked, but some of the best marketing that your organization can do, whether you're buying houses, you're selling donuts, you're changing tires, I don't care what it is delivering the best service that you possibly can. Because that in itself will market your product, your service, to the next person for that exact reason that you talked about. So that person that referred your lead definitely had a great experience, or else they wouldn't talk about it. It's just like you said, they wouldn't send their friends or family knowingly. I mean, how many times have we, let's take the opposite approach. How many times I know I've done, I'm sure you have, Andrew, but how many times have we as humans, we go to a restaurant or we go into a store and we have a bad experience, and then somebody's like, you know what, I was thinking about going to this restaurant, and the first thing comes to your mouth, be careful. I don't know if you would you probably shouldn't go there. Here's my experience with that. And that is the best way to get bad marketing out, is to deliver a bad service, right? And a lot of that comes with, you called it hand-holding, and that's really if you treat it that way, because that seller is in your court, trusting you as the advisor to walk them through the process cleanly and deliver what you say you're going to deliver. That type of marketing is the best marketing that you can do in any business. Yes. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And there's numbers, there's statistics hey, every good experience people tell 2 people, every bad experience they tell 7, or something crazy like that, right? You want to be it's harder to get the good news to travel.
Yeah.
But it's so imperative that you get the good news to travel, right?
Yeah.
And so most people have good experiences or even great experiences, and they just don't think to share it.
Yeah.
Which is why we have to prime that pump, if you will, with the first ask, which is that Google review, right? And then we also follow that up with a call, an email from our team that says, hey, thanks for working with us. Typically money is wired or whatever, so you should see your wire by now. Let us know if it's not there. We follow up with a closing email. And then they're going to be on our, Christmas card list, and they'll get calls from us as far as the Christmas cards, the July 4th, like you just hit them once every 6 months or so, and it reminds them of, oh yeah, those people were pretty good. They're nice people. Maybe I will share that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you're always staying top of mind. So not only did you deliver a great service to them, so they remember that, and it's also like the fact of like you're staying on top of mind just in case their friend says, I got this problem, I'm thinking about this. Didn't you go through a similar situation? And then they're not going to talk about anybody else. They're going to talk about you because you deliver that great service to them. And they're going to say, yeah, you should give Andrew and his team a call because this is my experience with them. Like it's so imperative, everything that you're talking about. And not just for referrals, but just for good business practice in general is to, deliver that kind of stuff. But I like that you guys, there's a lot of follow-up that comes after the transaction has happened, because a lot of wholesalers, a lot of people that are just, getting leads and converting them, they don't take advantage of what comes after that transaction. And you've been in this for a while, and you work with a lot of people, especially in your market. Do you see anybody else that's doing something similar to this?
I don't know. I couldn't say whether or not they are taking it as serious as we are. I do know there's some folks taking like the Google reviews seriously and just piling on reviews.
Sure.
We really, and we kind of, that's nice and all, but we're revenue focused, I guess, is the most important piece. So those Google reviews are great. You can have friends, family, coworkers, anybody can fill them out if they've had it, just be an experience. Sure. We really like having our clients fill it out with real experience. And we're not filling the bucket up just to fill it up.
Yeah.
We're looking for an experience that will turn and translate somehow into revenue on the other side.
Yeah,
meaning,
of course,
using our talking with our clients, going over their experience and asking, hey, do you know anybody else that might be in need of our service?
Yeah, for sure. So this might be a kind of an elementary question, but I want to ask it because I think a lot of people overlook this kind of step in the process. When you guys actually, on the P&L, you're detailing out what marketing channel this came from. How do you know it was a referral? Are your lead managers or acquisitions people asking, where did you come from? Like, did somebody tell you about us? Like, what's that process look like that this lead came from a referral, and then you can chalk it up at the end of the day that this lead came from a referral and it converted as a referral?
Yeah, absolutely. We have that question, hey, where did you come from? Most people will come through, our email, our phone number that's on the website or whatever. They'll get to us. But we tell our past clients, hey, if you refer someone to us, let us know because we'd like to give you a thank you. We'd like to say thank you. And so typically, that's like a get back or something, just something to say thank you for referring us.
Interrupting this podcast episode to tell you guys that this podcast is managed and produced by Culler Media Productions. Yes, shameless plug, that's my company. However, we do this for a lot of other people as well. Most people that we work with are in the real estate investing space. So if you're listening to this podcast specifically, you probably are a real estate investor, given it's called the REI Marketing Weekly. If you're somebody that either wants to start a podcast or you have one going and it's becoming a little bit of a hassle, you're looking to transition to somebody that works a little bit better with a fluid motion in terms of you get the recordings done and then they do everything else. Well, that's what we do. We do fully managed podcasts from start to finish, video, audio, show noting, the graphics, publishing, everything that goes into it. It's a full service business that we run here in a service for you as a real estate investor if you are running a podcast. Additionally, we also do social media and YouTube management as well. So all of that being on the organic side, if you are interested in learning more about working with us and just recording content with guidance and strategy set by myself personally, and then not doing anything else after that, where we're taking care of everything from start to finish, then make sure you go check us out at cullermedia.com, CULLER media.com. Hit us up there and we can learn more about working together, hop on a phone call and see what we could do for you. Now back to the episode. Yeah, for sure. In a world where and you know this, in a world where real estate investors really want like the the secret sauce and like those things that like could put you over the top. People just overlook fundamentals. And to me, like everything you're talking about here, and this is a good segue into the next kind of topic that I want to talk about here with you. But like you guys are really excellent at the fundamentals. It's the simple things that you can do over and over and over again, and they'll actually generate good results for you, as opposed to just constantly looking for the new thing. You guys are excellent at the fundamentals. You're good at executing those consistently and not lifting your foot off the pedal with that. And I do think that goes a really, really long way, especially with the experience that your customers, as you're calling them, have, right?
Yeah. And let's be clear, it's not because of me. I'm an entrepreneur. I am very scatterbrained, maybe is the right word. Like I'm
Andrew Lucas is scatterbrained. No,
not at all. So this is not because of me. This is because our team, took this idea and set a system in place.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't happen by accident. It's got to be part of your system, part of your process. And we have an amazing team, which you know really well, that run that and make sure that these things are done. And so if it's just a single entrepreneur doing this business, that's what a CRM is there for. That is what a process is there for, to make sure you do these things. And like you said, it's the fundamental things. It's the little things. You have to keep doing those in order to see the effects, see the compound effect of it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. I'm glad you put that in there because everybody, as you get started, obviously you bootstrap and you're doing everything yourselves. But at some point, you got to hand things off, especially like follow up like that, Andrew. I don't know about you. Like I know you're probably at heart a great salesperson, but I'm a great salesperson, but I'm awful at follow up. I'm really terrible at it, and I gotta have somebody there that's actually gonna be able to back that up. So, obviously, like automation, but having a person there that can actually manage and facilitate, that's a really big deal too. So, one thing I want to kind of transition into is, you mentioned those 4 things that you had told me prior to us hopping on here that you guys are really excellent in your marketing. One of those things was TV ads. Now, in a world where TV ads was never a thing like 4 years ago. Now, like some of the top investors in the country are doing it actively because they're seeing great results from it. What are you guys doing from like what's working for you within TV advertising? Because it's not just as simple as throwing an ad out there into your neck of the woods and then you're going to get leads. Like there's a process to this as well. So what are you guys doing that's actually helping convert leads and making TV ads be a successful marketing campaign for you?
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out what is our secret sauce because what's happened across the country, it's a mutual friend of ours has really helped people in different markets do this. And we're all really kind of, I like to say we were early on and we actually created one of the newer scripts that works for us. And then of course we shared it and other people are doing it. And I know somebody really well that tried the exact same thing and it bombed in their market, like zero, nothing.
Wow.
And I, it's hard to say what is that one piece, but I can tell you what is working for us is we do have our family. So we have young kids. And sorry if you don't have young kids, but they're cute. They're on TV. It's just one of the things that people call, especially remember the target audience, the TV is daytime TV pretty much.
Yeah.
And so we end up hitting a lot of older senior adults, they're retired or whatever. And so they'll call and say, these kids are I don't want to sell my house. These kids are so cute. So we know it plays well.
Yeah.
And I'm a little afraid to re-record. Our kids are like, they're growing as they do.
You got to keep them little.
Yeah, you got to keep them little because they were, the one that's running now is like 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So they were 5, 7, and 9, right?
Mm.
Super cute. Now 11-year-old, he's almost as tall as me. So we'll see how that one plays. But anyway, so that's part of it. The other part is, again, the target market is that who we're talking to, those sellers, those clients of ours that need the help, is we are very clear in the TV ad of what it is we do and how we help. So we buy houses with cash, quick close. And then we kind of list like, termites, tenants, taxes, all those things that are bad, right? Talk about those things. And a little trick that we started in, a couple years ago was we actually put, again, this goes back to the referral, is we put on the bottom a scrolling list of names of people we helped in the last year.
Wow.
Scrolling across saying, hey, it's on our YouTube channel, ColumbiaCashingBuyers.com. You can go check it out.
This is similar. I love that because I've never heard anybody doing that. And the reason why, so there's sometimes you'll go to a website, like a retailer website, and there's like a little pop-up in the left-hand corner. I'll say like Josh Culler just bought this program, or Andrew Lucas just bought this. Like, it's proving that people are buying it, right?
So
like, I love that.
Which is why we put it on there.
Yeah.
Exactly why we did it. Now, I can't tell you if it's changing the metrics, but I can tell you it's a huge demand or lead generator for us. Much so that when our postcards like hit the dirt, like zero, we had a really bad list that was apparently old, and we had nothing coming in, but man, TV just kept crushing, kept sending us leads and the business going. And it is a surprise to me, I guess, would be how good the TV does. And now it's expensive, right? We pay the most for TV ads per month.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but if it's generating the results that you guys are looking to get in terms of you said you're a revenue-driven business, then of course that's the important thing, right? So the one thing I'm really curious about is, obviously like you're on brand, right? So like when you're doing these TV ads, you have the kids, you've got the call to actions and, all the messaging and all that stuff, right? So now I'm not talking about logo brands. I'm talking about like messaging brand. Like you're on point with everything that you're doing, especially referrals. Like that's one thing that we talked about is referrals. That's on brand. They're going through a great experience with you guys as a service and that sort of thing. With everything else that you do, you mentioned you've done direct mail and you might do a couple other things. How are you tying all of them together, or do you treat them as like their own standalone channels that aren't associated? A lot of investors will unassociate channel. Like if somebody's doing cold calling or text blasting, they're not going to send people to their website because that can cause a riot. Like, are you tying it all together? Like, how does this all work together in your marketing?
I love how you put that you actually called that out. So we tried cold calling and text messaging, and that was the reason we don't do it. We won't do it. It's because our team, we said, well, this isn't who we are. People are mad at us. And, and we were hiring like a third party to do it. And it wasn't on brand. It was not on brand. We were like, well, don't tell them our name. Don't tell them Columbia Cash Home Buyers because we don't
use an alias. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't want to get a bad Google review. And when we start talking like that, then we're like, then this isn't us. This isn't who we are. Why would we go do that as a marketing campaign? And so we have to stay on brand, and everything is connected because we want them to know that we are a full service. Like we are here, we are local, we are that home buying company that's going to take care of you. So if you get a postcard and then you see us on TV and you go check out our website, they're all going to be the same, and it's going to make you know and feel comfortable calling us.
For sure.
There obviously we miss leads because we don't cold call, but we are okay with that. Mm-hmm. That's not our business model, and that would not be on brand for us because it doesn't fit the way we have built it.
That's huge. Like, guys, listen, this is from a very experienced real estate investor. Not to say that, and Andrew would probably be the first one to tell you this, but that's not to say that cold calling and text blasting is a no. Like, don't ever do it, that type of thing. But it just doesn't fit his specific model. And this is what I talk about. Andrew, you work with me on podcasts and social media. This is what I talk about often within that world as well, is that, if Andrew's that type of person that as a guru, he's standing in front of Ferraris and he's got cash guns in his hands. Like, maybe at one point we'll do like a spoof of that, Andrew, but that's just not him because it's not on brand. It might attract eyeballs. It might even attract revenue, but it's not the right type of revenue because it's not on brand for him. So I love that you tied that. And that was honestly where I was trying to get at, is figuring out, because it sounds like you guys value brand very much. And I do know that you have very strong core values and just values in general and standards that you guys live by. just from being in your office, like it's very obvious the way that you guys operate is very ethically and that sort of thing. So that was an interesting conversation to have, and I think that a lot of people could take away from that as well. So
yeah, I hope so. I hope it. And again, I talk about me as being the entrepreneur and the shiny shiny object syndrome. Like, I want to do all these things. I would love to have text messaging, cold calling, and e-blast, all these things. But we have a great team led by my wife, of course. She's the first one to say, no, Andrew, we can't do those things. But we set parameters and standards in our company, and that's what I fall back on to say, no, it doesn't fit. But then it's okay for me as the entrepreneur and the visionary to just say, nope, that doesn't fit, move on. And so if I had to leave anything with anybody, that would be a takeaway, is to set those, core values up so that you can say no to things and move on.
That's awesome. Yeah, we all know that Michelle is the brains behind the operation, so that's okay, Andrew.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it. Awesome. So, Andrew, man, this has been a great podcast. We are out of time now. It's kind of crazy how fast that went, but we could talk for a whole lot longer than what we did. But, I mean, thank you for sharing everything you did. Just fantastic stuff. Andrew, I'm going to link everything down in the description below, but obviously there's a couple things to talk about to be able to connect with you. You have a tremendous amount of social media that goes out, very, very valuable stuff. I love the walkthrough videos that you do, also the podcast as well. Where can people find you? What's the easiest way to connect with you and learn about what you have going on?
I think the best place would be the dealfindersclub.com. So that's where we have our local events in South Carolina, and it's free. Everybody's welcome. We do about once a week. But if you go to that site, you can click the connect or the contact me, whatever, and reach out. Of course, social media, I do, answer my DMs and stuff like that. So if you want to call and you want to reach out, I'll give you my phone number. I'm totally fine with it. It's 803-216-5750. You can call or text. That's me. Yeah. Whatever you need, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina, right, if you are interested in, I've actually been able to be at one of Andrew's house walkthroughs events, and that was tremendous, but he has the meetups as well. So if you're in that area, make sure you go to dealfindersclub.com and you'll be able to learn more about that. But Andrew, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing everything you did, and I look forward to having you back again soon.
Thanks for listening to the REI Deal Finders Podcast. You can find out more and apply to be a part of the REI Deal Finder community at reidealfinders.club.